Pearson's off today, so I'm winging it. So I do want to welcome you guys to the show. If you guys can do real quick for me, you guys can give me a thumbs up or say, hey, you hear me? Yep, I'm good. That's good. Thumbs up. That's what I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. So today's guest on our show is Patrick Neese. He's from Georgia, and he's also got his own YouTube channel. It's just called Patrick Neese. But he mostly does a lot of pay laking and all that kind of stuff. And hey, Patrick, I appreciate you coming to the show. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
I've been following TV fighters for a while now.
Man, I appreciate that. I was kind of worried.
Opposite sides of the spectrum, you're up north, I'm down south.
Yeah. I bet your weather's a lot better up here.
Just with y'all recently, but I've definitely been following you guys. So.
Man, I wouldn't mind sharing the bank with you. I think it'd be fun. Sweet. Sit back, talk. I like a couple of beers on the side, on the side when I drink. I don't know about you.
That's never a problem.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
It's never a problem.
So,
We'll definitely get together, man. I've always wanted to come up that way. I got some people I talk to up there, obviously, that fish up there, and I've always wanted to make a trip up there, but I just haven't got up there yet. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's a far drive, so.
Yeah, it is. What are you get? Like 8 hours from here?
I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. I'm from about middle Georgia, so
Middle
it takes
Georgia?
it takes about 3 or so to get to North Carolina.
You're probably longer than that, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
But
fall, but yeah. I'd like to come up and make a trip out of it for sure. And,
oh, most definitely.
Stay a whole week and get some fishing done.
Real quick, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll try to get some backgrounds about Patrick Neese, and like we do with all the other carp anglers, kind of figure out what exactly you do. I mean, how you been doing, man? So.
Oh, great, man. I've been doing this stuff for a very long time. And,
right.
I grew up on the lake every weekend. My father was a avid fisherman. He got into the catfish scene a lot when I was younger, so I wasn't really carp fishing, but a lot of the pay lake fish that had carp in them. So
right.
He'd be doing this thing in the catfish tournament. I had one set of poles. I got my first set when I was probably 9-10 years old, and I fished for carp, he fished for catfish, and I'd be able to wear a carp out. Obviously, it didn't count in the tournament or anything, but that's kind of where it started. And then, I kind of eased my way into the pay lake scene on the carp side of things. And I started fishing my first tournaments when I was 12, 13 years old, I guess, and I've been on a carp lake just about every weekend since. So. It got addicting very fast.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're kind of so. I've been following your YouTube channel as well. You got a lot of great videos. The one that really got me the most, I think you made a bait ketchup with no rice. If I remember that right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it. And then there was a couple other ones that again, I got a lot of good secrets off of it. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I could use this. This is pretty good.
I love uploading. A lot of people, they're like, well, can you upload what you're throwing? I'm like, guys, you don't understand. I want to, but I don't want to fish against my own bait, So, right. I mean, because I have a few people that watch me down here, too, so I don't want to cut stuff knows,
Exactly.
I'll put out there as a general,
But you'll leave a little bit of secret in the ingredients for you. And you should. You should. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I try to help anybody out best I can, and I will, and I always will. But
right.
At the same time, when you're putting up some of this big money, and you don't want to fish against something that you're throwing,
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it's bittersweet because I kind of want to help anybody out best I can, but at the same time, like I said, I don't want to step them on the toes. So.
That's one thing about carp videos and YouTube. When I see a lot of people make their own YouTube videos and all that stuff, you can tell right automatically that's what exactly they want to do. is they want to share their passion and their enjoyment, and also teach other carp anglers how to fish too. So
absolutely, that's the whole goal.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's the whole thing, because when I first started doing YouTube, that's what kind of got me into it, is watching, because when I started YouTube, it wasn't really very big, 10, 12 years ago. So
right.
Even just watching small videos, I'm like, I really enjoy watching these videos, especially in the wintertime when fishing's slow. So,
yeah, definitely.
I kind of started uploading little clips and stuff here and there, and, it kind of progressed a little bit to where, people started watching. I'm like, okay, then started getting some feedback, and you kind of get the questions and stuff like this. And then, like I said, I've always been the one to help somebody out as best I can, to my knowledge anyway, But,
yeah.
I mean, I don't claim to be the best in the world, but when you've been doing something for, almost 20 years, it's, you kind of get some things under your belt. You kind of know the right and wrong things to do, and, like I said, I'll for sure always help anybody out best I can, no matter who they are or where they're from. I don't care.
Oh yeah, definitely. So,
I would do.
How long you been doing the YouTube videos?
I uploaded my first video when I don't know how old I was, to be honest with you, but it's probably been 10 or 11 years. Of course, like I said, it started off with a few clips, and technology wasn't that great when I started uploading, as far as like cell phones and stuff like that. You kind of had to have
let me guess.
laptop, all this. So
Was it the Razor back in the day, 10 years ago, or the flip phones?
sure, the BlackBerry.
BlackBerry, that's it. That's the word I'm looking for, BlackBerry.
Those are a little tough.
Yeah.
Put YouTube videos on, so.
So when do you do your YouTube videos? Do you got your own computer screen, or you just do everything on by cell phone?
90% of my stuff on my phone. So
Nice.
I use an app called Splice to do all my editing.
Okay.
And, I just use my phone, and usually I'll take an extra charger with me, or try to take a backpack charger, something I can connect to my phone and film at the same time, because those slow nights when you're filming and you're filming and you're filming, nothing's happening. It'll wear your battery out. So
real quick, I got a question here. Hey, Nick Swayze, Tom is a no-show. I don't know where he's at. So, yeah, he must have fell asleep or something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's in my A on us, man. I really wanted to talk to Tommy. I've been friends with him on Facebook for a while now, and I know he's been big into the carp fishing scene.
Oh,
so.
yeah, especially in the Pale Lakes. I'm more of a wild carper guy, but he was always.
That's the same way it is down here for me. There's a few obviously big lakes down here. You got Lake Lanier, Lake Jackson. These big lakes that you can go fish. But the problem is with those, there's hardly no tournaments on them at all, because both fishermen are going crazy and they think.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Honestly, it's a sport. I don't hate anybody for doing it. They can do whatever they want, have fun at it, go ahead. But at the same time, being a carp fisherman, it kind of here's a little bit. But at the same time,
the thing, I mean, people have heard me say this before. I don't really mind bow fishing. It just shoot what you're going to eat. You know what I mean? Just don't. If you're going to feed your family, that's fine too. But
yeah, for sure. I understand it's sport, but when you watch some of these videos and they got tubs and barrels of
my God,
carp, like
that's like what the heck, man.
And I also understand that carp can be an invasive species. They can, but at the same time, I see them as a sport fish, because of, I've been pale laking for a long time. And I love catching carp, but.
Oh, I love it too.
But coming back to the Wildwater thing, is I've never actually honestly fished a Wildwater tournament. We're actually going, me and Kelly and Chris, we're all going, well, two of my partners. Obviously Chris is my cousin, and Kelly's been a family friend for a very long time. But,
okay.
We're fishing. Kelly actually fished Connecticut last year. I think that was her first Wildwater tournament.
Oh, no kidding. There you go. That's a good time.
To New York here in May to fish.
Are you doing it this May?
Yeah.
Nice.
Fishing. I think it's the I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I believe so. I'll be in Del Hollow around that time, so. But
That's definitely
yeah.
Del Hollow and bucket list lake for sure.
Dude, oh my God, you'll love it. You would just love it. It's.
But like I said, the Wildwater thing down here,
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's here as far as being able to just fish these bigger lakes. But as far as like the tournament scene, it's almost non-existent. So
Right.
with us going up to New York in May, I'm super excited. I'm gonna go up there with an open mind and be an open book and soak up as much information as I can. Because like I said, even though I've been doing this a long time, anytime I can learn anything, I'm all about it.
Yeah, 100%.
And if we go up there and don't catch a fish, I don't care. I'm going to have an amazing time because I've watched those tournaments on YouTube and Facebook, and I know a lot of guys that go up there from down here. I'm good friends with a lot of them, and I know they're a blast. And that's the thing. I'm going up there to have a good time and just soak up as much info as I can, and just hopefully hang into some pigs. You know what I mean?
Oh, heck yeah.
Wildwater 30 is a lot different than catching a Pay Lake 30.
I know, right? That's it. I mean, you feel it. So you do. So you definitely do a lot of wild watering, which that's awesome too. And
Well, yeah. I mean, I try to fish those bigger lakes, but like I said, it's still predominantly using my Pay Lake setup and all that good stuff. So.
Right. So people down south, it's kind of like they call it hillbilly casino at Pay Lakes.
Yeah.
Is it now? And I do talk to a lot of Pay Lakers and all that stuff, but not too much down south area. Do you guys basically make like a living out of it down there? I'm not saying you don't have jobs, but I mean, some people make this kind of thing out of jobs.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
In Georgia, it's very tough to do that as far as being able to kind of survive off of it.
Right.
If you could say that. But because there's only a few lakes down here, we only really got two really good Pay Lakes that are here. Red's obviously being probably the top Pay Lake in Georgia, and then you got Lakeview, which is an amazing lake also. But
Nice.
Red's kind of, it goes off of piggybacking off of that North Carolina, South Carolina style. They kind of, that's where the Reds Lake's going as far as the tournament style and just the tournaments they run and going to 8 hours. Because down here in Georgia, we've always been 12 hours up until probably last year or the year before.
Okay.
We're always fishing 12-hour tournaments. Our Friday night, Saturday night tournaments were 12 hours no matter what.
Oh, nice.
Like, kind of piggybacking off the North Carolina, South Carolina thing, we went to 8 hours, and don't get me wrong, there's a ton of money that can be won in those 8-hour tournaments, and you can, obviously have a blast.
Right.
But there's just not a lot of lakes down here. Now, don't get me wrong, if you get on the fish, and you're winning every weekend, you're winning, some of these tournaments just on a Saturday night at Reds.
Yeah.
For 5 biggest are paying out, $2,000, $4,000 or $5,000.
Man.
So I mean, you win a 5 biggest tournament down there, and you pocket, $2,500, $3,000 between you and your partner. I mean, that's more than a lot of people make in a month.
So who's your partner? Chris?
Chris is my cousin.
Okay.
I've always grown up. We've grown up together, carp fishing, back and forth. But if I'm not fishing with him, my main partner I fish with is Mark.
Okay.
He's a kid. He lives out in. He lives right by Lakeview.
Okay.
So convenient for him to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's right.
So he's a pretty good angler, that you want to fish with, right? For like tournament wise and all that stuff.
I keep my circle very small when it comes to that.
Sometimes you have to.
It's too much.
I know.
I don't want to be backstabbing, but
I know.
You just can't trust a lot of people as far as when you're winning, everything is great. Everything is great. But as soon as you go a weekend or two and you don't, double your money or don't win your money back, or you just have a bad weekend, whatever it may be. Next thing you know, they're gone fishing with somebody else, throwing your own bait against you, and then next thing you know, there's 10 people on the lake throwing the same bait that you come up with, and you can kind of go from there. But
Right,
like I said, my circle's small. I fish with Mark 90% of the time because me and him have been fishing together for a while now, and we trust each other. And I'll probably fish with him as long as he fishes. But when I'm not fishing with him, I'm fishing with Kelly or Chris because like I said, I keep my circle small, and I don't. There's just too much going on.
A lot of backstabbing. Yeah, I can understand that 100%. I mean, it is. So there's some questions I want to ask you that I always ask all the other carp anglers that comes onto our show, but every answer is different. So to that one carp angler. So, real quick, is there any kind of shout outs you want to give to anybody?
I just picked up some our new sponsor this year.
I heard. I seen that. That's one of my questions.
Well, they contacted me, and I feel like that's a good partnership. They seem to be nice, honest people, so that's always a good thing in the carp community to find good people. But I've been on. This will actually be my second year with Fish on Beepers.
Yeah. Now.
Drew picked me up when he first, I guess started the company, and then now Corey, he kind of piggybacked off of that and kept me on as fishing for him. So definitely Royal Way, Carp Juice, and Fish on Beepers, man. I'm greatly appreciated with them, especially and my partners too. All three of them, Mark, Chris, and Kelly.
So Royal Way Flavors, that's a new company just came out, flavor company that came out.
Yeah, they're fairly new.
Yeah.
I honestly, when they contacted me, I was like, I haven't grown any of your products, to be honest, because as far as I know, they were only out of Midway 1 and Midway 2. And I'm sure there was probably a few more places, but like I said, I'm in Georgia, so I don't get up to North Carolina a lot during the winter. I get up there a lot during the summertime, but I just never throw their products. And I was like, well, if y'all want to work with me, I'm definitely down to give them a try. And I just got their shipment in this past week, and so far I haven't used it yet, but I'm fishing this weekend, and I'm excited to use it. It seems like great stuff. I mean, it smells great. Yeah. The consistency's great on a lot of the flavors. They got.
How many flavors do they got so far? Do you think?
I'm not sure, but they got a lot. They're definitely doing their thing.
Good. Good.
If people want to try something new, I'll definitely check them out because they know what they're doing. I can just tell by the products that they send me that it's not no backyard flavor company. You know what I mean?
After carp anglers, if you guys are interested in Royal Way Flavors, I'll put a little paragraph to where you guys could get a hold of them on, just below my comment section, and on my YouTube page after I make the video. Go. Sorry, Patrick, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine. You're perfectly fine.
So I'm looking at some of the comments here, and who's this? Barry Pierce. You know him? He says, I'm not going to sit across the lake from Patrick anymore at the lake. He draws all the fish in his hole.
I definitely do my best when I go. Because like I said, some of those tournaments, man, you're paying a lot of money, and you kind of want to go up there on all your P's and Q's any tournament you get into. So, I'm definitely not tooting my own horn.
Yeah.
Me, but I do okay. I can't complain. So.
Okay, here's another question for you. When did I think you might have said something a little bit earlier when you was telling us how about your background, and I guess maybe go a little bit more detail with it. When did your passion for carp fishing start? So I think you said you fished with your dad. Your dad's mainly a catfisherman mainly, but yeah, and then but your passion was mainly for carp, right? But say, how old were you at that time?
He got me my first set of poles when I want to say it's kind of blurry. I'm 30 years old now, so it was probably I don't know, I was 8, 9, 10 years old,
Nice.
something like that.
Nice.
So, I got my first matching set of poles, so
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that. Like I said, he would fish those big catfish tournaments, and I wasn't really big into the catfishing thing. I dabbled in it when I was older, and I love catfishing now, but
Yeah.
like I said, those pay lakes he fished at, they, just over years of having fish put in them, carp kind of snuck in there, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
just having my own set of poles, he would make me some bait, and I would sit there and just wear carp out all night while he catfished. And, of course, back then I wasn't really old enough to fish in tournaments and stuff by myself, so.
Right.
I got to the point to where I felt like, obviously he's putting up the money back then, not me, so.
Exactly.
Once I got to a situation where I, had enough, I guess you could say, skill or whatever to hold my own on the carp lake, that's when it all started. Like I said, I fished my first term when I was 11, 12, 13 years old, however old it was. But that was a lake called Lake Ann down here. It's been closed down a long time now.
Okay. Gotcha.
That lake was, and even my father finished that, back when he was younger too. But like I said, he got out of the carp fishing scene and kind of got, drug into the catfishing scene. So, but then we started going back up there, when I was probably 14 or so, and I've been on the carp lake every weekend since. I mean, as much as I can anyway, obviously, but yeah, it definitely started at a young age, man. And like I said, even, don't get me wrong, I love all the money you can make and stuff, because some of these guys, and I've done it too, you can make $10,000, $20,000 a year or more carp fishing. So,
Wow.
Of course, you spend a lot of money doing that. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you
Just
always
on the
come out.
bait. So when you when you go to the pay lake and all that kind of stuff, and everybody's different, every angler is different. Do you take a bunch of different types of bait, like you got one rice, one oats, a bucket of rice, a bucket of oats, or chow or something like that? I mean, do you have, or you just exactly what they're hitting and you bring that one certain bait with you all the time?
It all depends on the time of year, and kind of if I know a lot about the lake or not. Obviously, if I'm headed to North Carolina or even down here in the summertime, I know chances are they're probably on rice or millet, something like that. So I always, even now with March here now, I'll start making all my buckets of rice I plan on using, the main flavors I make, and then those will always be in my truck no matter what.
Right.
Summer rice is it's almost a go-to at any lake. But like I said, as far as like bringing in chow and those types of situation, or the fish down here just really don't like grits for some reason, or
Okay.
potatoes. So I don't really worry about having that with me or anything. But 9% of the time, if it's summertime, I got rice and millet with me.
Uh-huh.
And if it's winter time, it's predominantly chow down here. So that's about all I'll bring.
So what do you think about chop? Is the chow prices going up down there too? I'm pretty sure it
they're
is.
not great. They're definitely not great.
I mean, it's what?
I remember it used to be, $50 a bag. Now I think it's almost double that.
Yeah.
In some places, depending on where you get it from, obviously.
Oh wow, yours up here it's like almost 100.
Oh yeah, for sure. Here.
But now it's like, I think I heard they just actually raised the price to back at, a 50-pound bag chow to like it was 150 now, if I'm not mistaken.
It's getting insane, and I'm sure it has to do with all these supply shortages and stuff we got going on, because stuff like that. But
And the minute now, I guess the war is going to be on top of it too, or something.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
But on average, it's probably around $100. It's like I said, it depends on where you get it, how much you buy, obviously. But
Right. Guys, I got a question. Somebody on Facebook says that from Tyler Curham. Sorry if I'm not saying his name right. Taylor Curham. I'm curious to see what weight line he uses.
It depends on the reel, really. If I'm using like a 55 6500 or a open face. I try not to do anything huge because it takes up a lot of space, and on an open face sometimes you get into the 20-25 pound range, and it sounds like weed eater cord coming off of there. But I usually on my bait casters I'm most of the time running 17 pound.
Okay.
I got to where I really like the suffix line.
Yeah.
I use that stuff a lot. On my open faces, I run 15 pound line because I can fit a little more on there. It obviously depends on the size of the reel and all that. That plays a big part in it too. But for the most part, it's 15, 17 pound. It depends on when I get my line changed. Where I get it changed at. Kind of what they have in stock. So, but if I have my choice, for sure, I like the 17 pound suffix, the tangerine orange. That's my go-to line at the moment. So.
Right.
Because obviously, if you can go bigger if you want. You can go shoot. I know when I was younger, I didn't fish anything over 12 pound line because obviously, when you're younger, you want to get as much as you can out of your cast, and the lower the line weight, or you can throw it a little further. So
yeah, same person, Tyler. He goes 6500 is I guess what he's running. He uses about 16 pound Berkeley Pro line.
Yeah, that's pretty much perfect line. Like I said, obviously if you go with like a 12 pound, 14 pound line, they're going to throw a lot better, because the line.
It's all about the drag too.
But like I said, as long as you kind of keep your drag set and stuff like that, you can catch just about anything on 10, 12 pound line, honestly. But I know when I was younger, I caught a 38 pound flathead on like 10 pound line. I had it on a little like Walmart little brim pole. Of course, it was sing and drag the whole time, but
right.
I got in. But yeah, obviously, like I said, when you're putting this big money up for these tournaments and stuff, you want to make sure you got good equipment, good line, all that good stuff.
Definitely. So what is your guys' speaking of tournaments? What's your guys' tournaments like? Is it 12-hour tournaments or 8-hour tournaments?
They were 8 hours up until 12 hours up until about 2 years ago. Like I said, me being from Georgia,
right?
The fishing, it's always been here, but it's not been as big as it has. Obviously North Carolina is like the hub for any pay lake carp fishing. So
good.
It's kind of trickling its way down here now.
Right.
A lot of these pond bosses, they're going to 8 hours because, like I said, that's kind of the norm now.
Kind of like up here, it's like 6 to 6. But it's not really no tournaments here. It's just mainly just jug fishing. You know what I mean? It's but they do have regular like porch pots, what they call here. I'm not sure if you guys porch pots down there.
Yeah. It's been porch pots, rodeos.
Right. Yeah. All those code names. So, but. Let's see if I got another question for you. Brian, he says, what is chow? Well, Brian, chow is kind of like black particles from Purina. It's just mainly fish food.
Yeah, pretty much. Fish food. Really?
It's like you would think that another company would pick up on chow to make instead of Purina, the way the prices keep on going up and up.
I've always thought that why other companies don't make it. I don't know if they have like a
special ingredients how to make it or machine. I don't know.
What that?
But
I would really think somebody coming out with some cheaper chow. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would. So
it depends. Like every year, man, it just goes up and goes up and it just doesn't stop. So.
Right.
But it also goes to some of these lakes, if they would just not allow chow, then, we wouldn't have to buy it.
Yeah.
We can get them.
There's a lot of anglers have been talking about that. But there's a lot of anglers that loves it because it's easy to make. They love throwing it. Easy to pack. But I mean, you can catch chow. It's a great fit. Great bait. But oats and other stuff that works just as good. But you guys are pay Lakers more, not have more knowledge than that than I would. So I mean, you probably think that which one would you think is more better? Is it the chow or the oats or the rice, or is it just, the what flavors each product?
As far as catching fish or what?
Yeah, catching fish. Yes.
Catching fish.
Yeah.
It depends on. Obviously, it all comes back down to the lake and time of year.
Yeah.
Obviously, wintertime throughout pretty much the whole U.S. they're predominantly going to be on chow. So
yeah.
You got 30 people in the lake and 29 of them are throwing chow. You should probably be throwing chow too. But
sure.
I don't mind it. Like I say, it's it's bittersweet because it's really expensive, but at the same time it's easy to make for the most part. I know some people do have trouble with making it as far as like being able to pack it and throw it and stuff like that. So
right. You got a video on that?
I definitely I don't have any problem with it, but
do you have a YouTube video on that? On chow?
Making chow?
Yeah.
I believe I do. I think I just have one with corn, maybe.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been meaning to upload some more in depth because obviously there's tons of ways you can make it.
Yeah.
Certain lakes you go to, they might have a lot of little catfish, and you can't really put corn in it. So you might have to make it with egg whites or water or soda, or you can even make it with syrup. I mean, it just depends on. And I would love to make those videos, but I just a lot of times I make a video on something I'm going to try to throw because I don't want to waste it. You know what I mean? So, and usually when I'm throwing chow, I'm predominantly most of the time I'm making it with egg whites unless I'm going somewhere I know they like it differently. But so it's kind of hard for me to throw away a $15 bag of chow.
Yeah. I got
I'll get to it for sure. Because like I said, I like showing the easiest way possible.
Oh yeah.
To make a bait because I don't expect any experience, carp fisherman that's been doing it for X amount of years to watch my videos and want to learn something. I mean, I'm sure they do, and I'm really appreciative of that. But I
saw guys on Facebook Live. You guys haven't checked out Patrick Neese YouTube channel. He's got a really good info, YouTube channel. A lot of great info. It's a lot of carp action in it too. But definitely look him up on YouTube. Really good video. So
I really appreciate it, man. I really do. Like I said, I try to make my videos as easy as possible. That way, if there's a 12-year-old kid that wants to get into carp fishing, he doesn't have to spend.
See, that's what I'm all about, man. Promoting carp fishing, just promote it.
Fish. He can go to the grocery store and spend $10.
Yeah.
Go catch fish. You know what I mean?
You don't have to go online and get all your products that you want. I mean,
Oh, for sure. And once
except for Bottom Feeder Baits, the #1 bait company in the world. No, I'm joking. But
that's honestly I've never actually used their products either, as far as them being.
I wanted you to try my Bottom Feeder Baits, see what you think, and I'll throw you a bag at your way. Just do a YouTube on it, see what you think.
I appreciate it. Like I said, I know it's big up there. Indiana and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's where.
Yeah, that's where we're at. I got a question for you. Another question from Todd Bright. He goes, "Do you use alcohol in your bait?"
It depends on what bait I'm throwing.
Okay.
Certain baits will hold alcohol a lot better than others. Sometimes it'll break down the bait like terrible. Sometimes some baits like you can't put a lot of alcohol in because it'll I don't know what it does. It just breaks it down.
Right.
It doesn't stick or whatever it may be, but I definitely have a few chow recipes. I'll throw some Fireball or
well, 9 times out of 10, a lot of flavors because it already got the alcohol in it, you know.
Oh, for sure. And it depends on
what kind of
obviously
flavors.
content and what you're wanting to get out of the bait, because there's been a few times, you know, where me and my buddy Mark have stumbled across, you know, putting a little alcohol in your dip or whatever it may be, and you know the fish love it. They go crazy for it. But like it definitely depends on what bait you're putting it in,
right.
and what you're putting it for, because even pickups, it'll break down some of the pickups where they almost dissolve and stuff. So you kind of got to play with it. It's all trial and error, obviously. Right. But for the overall question, for sure, I've definitely put alcohol in my baits, and I'll definitely continue to do so, especially if it's working. So.
All right, I got you another question going on for you. This is from me this time. What is your personal best on commons and mirrors? Is mirrors pretty common down there?
No, they're not.
Yeah.
The few mirrors we do have down here, they're usually pretty small, to be honest with you. But
okay.
Yeah.
And, you love to haul it in. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, bro, I've seen some of those. I've seen some of those videos, man, and I'm just sitting there watching, like, in shock. I'm like, I just want to hold one of those beautiful 30-pound mirrors.
That's just nothing but carp porn to me. Yeah.
Oh, you're not lying. Oh, God. You're not lying.
Oh,
some people may think that sounds weird, but you hit it right on the nose with that. Like, you're just sitting there, like, almost drooling, man. It's like,
dude,
I just want to go, you know?
The next week's guest that we're going to have here is Derek Williams. He's from West Virginia, and he's got some beautiful mirrors just out from Cord. Is huge. I mean, they're just crazy. So I'm kind of looking forward to having an interview with him too. And he runs some kind of wild tournaments up over there too. So,
really?
Oh yeah, look him up, Derek Williams. That's lots of beautiful fish over there.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen those videos, man, and people hold something 30-pound, even 20-pound mirrors, man. I mean, they're just those fish are insanely beautiful. Like it's some of them are just fish of a lifetime for some of those people.
Oh. So did I cut you off? Did you tell me your weight of their common? So I guess when you say mirror, it's probably what, a 12-pounder mirror or something like that. So
yeah, maybe. Like I said, they're very, very few and far between down here. And like I said, if they are in any of these lakes down here, they're 10, 12 pounds. So
okay.
But other than that, I mean, nothing special. As far as my common, I feel like I've caught probably a few close to the 30-pound mark, like
nice.
Out just Wildwater or just messing around or whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as tournament-wise, the biggest one I've caught is honestly 28. I've caught.
That's good. That's great size. Great fight.
Yeah, I don't know how many countless 20s I've caught, but I've yet to break the 30-pound mark, and that's something I've always wanted to do. Some people do it the first year they start fishing, and I know some guys that's been doing it for 25, 30 years, and I haven't caught a 30-pound carp. So it's definitely a bucket list fish for sure. Honestly, that's why I love North Carolina so much, man. Don't get me wrong, Reds and Lakeview down here are great lakes, but things like Creekside or Wards and Midway 1 and 2, and those lakes, you got a good chance of hanging into some hogs up there, man, and that's why I love going up there so much.
Right. Okay, here's another question for you. I kind of feel like I know the question to this, but let's see what do you prefer the most? Lakes, rivers, ponds, or canals? So I guess when I say ponds, like Pay Lake ponds or
or
just regular pond, it's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. fishing and stuff, but there's just something special about going out to a lake that's, it's not stocked. It's, it's just been out in nature itself and catching some of these fish that have never been caught before.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I hear that from a lot of anglers, and I'm like that way too,
Yeah, and we actually done a video when we went to a lake down here, Lake Oconee, man, and we didn't catch anything over 10, 12 pounds, but just knowing those fish or having them wore out.
Just something a little bit more special about them,
Yeah, like there's just something. It's a different vibe when you're fishing for those fish. You know what I mean? So, like I said, don't get me wrong. I'm a pay laker at heart. Because that's what I've grown up doing. Like I said,
Right.
The wildwater thing isn't that prevalent down here. But when you go out and you're fishing for these fish, you don't know much about them. When you catch them, their mouths are pretty. They haven't been beat to death, dropped on the rocks, whatever it may be. And some of these fish are just spotless. It's like, man, these fish are. There's something you want to preserve. So
Exactly.
when you're going out catching those type of fish, man, it's a different feeling for sure. I definitely like the wildwater fishing aspect of it, but I mean, where I have the most fun as far as like being around people I like being around and friends and competing, and because I'm a real big competitor. I compete. I'm a real big competitor.
I can see it in you. I can see it just in hearing your voice and the tone that you bring off. I can see you're a big competitor. Anthony Christian has got a question for you. He goes, what's his all-time favorite ingredient to use?
I'm not sure what he means by that. I don't know if he means as far as something I put in my bait or what bait I like to use the most. But as far as an ingredient that goes in a lot of my baits, I mean a ton of them, it comes from the grocery store, and a lot of these guys down here use it, but it's vanilla butternut, the McCormick.
I love it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's cake batter now.
That's before all these flavors came around. That's what everybody had to go to, is those McCormick.
I don't know how many baits I've used and still use till this day. That's nothing but vanilla butternut, McCormick, and a Jello. I mean, I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars I've won on baits that simple.
I don't want to give out too much of your secrets, man. Once you kind of keep your money.
I mean, that's a huge thing down here, though.
Yeah.
The vanilla butternut, a lot of people, especially some of the old school guys, they a lot of them swear by that stuff. So, but it's not always about having 4 different flavors and flavored pickups and all that. I've won so much money off of plain pops and a vanilla butternut McCormick and a Jello, man. I've caught so many fish doing that, it's not even funny.
Nice. So, okay, how about keep it going here. Now, like you say, you do a lot of. You said you like to do a lot of wild fishing. How do you scout out for new swims when you're looking for big carp?
Well.
Is it the word of mouth or?
Yeah. I mean, it can't be that. It usually ends up being that way because carp fishing down here in general, as far as wild water or even pay laking. I mean, obviously you have that hardcore group of pay lake guys, but as far as anybody going out wild water fishing, it's kind of really just a guessing game. You kind of go to these lakes. A lot of our bigger lakes and reservoirs, they naturally have carp in them just from the carp being in there, just over time. But you kind of go, you have those trial and error. You might go pick a spot, man, and blank. You might not catch nothing. But then you might go to one, opposite side of the river or the lake or wherever it may be at, and just absolutely hammer them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like not enough people do it as far as wild water scene to kind of keep these carp in one area of a lake or one area of obviously when you're fishing Lake Lanier, a lake that's 3-4 states wide, I mean, you can't keep fish in one spot, but you kind of just, you get you a good spot, like you said, the word of mouth thing, you got a buddy, well, I fish this spot, I wore them out, whatever it may be, but you kind of bait your hole up and just go from there. And next thing you know, it's kind of just, process of elimination, where they are and where they ain't. But for the most part, like I said, a lot of these bigger lakes down here, they naturally have carp in them. So
Right.
if you go bait up a swim enough and keep it consistent, most of the time you can draw those fish in. So
A lot of times, what I like when I go around other lakes, like big bodies of water or something, and and I'm like new to this area and I don't know, and the Europeans, I really prefer the pay lake stands more.
oh really?
Yeah, I like the pay lake stands more I do than the Wildwater setup, just because they're so easy to put in and then take up. If you're not happy with that one spot, you can move on down a little bit further and down the bank, and choose another spot. It's real fast and easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, especially because not all places you can always get a rod pod. So you got those single stands, you can kind of pick it anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's simple. When I do use my European 12-footers, it probably, like when I go to Del Hollow, I only probably break those things out if I don't have a good place to stake my pay lake stands into the ground, or I'm fishing for a whole week and I got just one perfectly spot that stays right there. But sometimes I use my pay lake stands just to scout out a little bit further down, but keep my other European rods in one spot and maybe just have two rods. Because I don't know what's the rod limit down there where you're at. Say like here in Indiana, it's three rods.
Yeah, it's the same down here.
Is it? Tennessee, where Del Hollow's at, I believe it's 4. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, I heard it used to be unlimited, but I think they kind of changed that here a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think that's always been about the norm down here. I remember going with my father, back in the day, and going to these lakes and having DNR kind of roll up on us. And I remember, even when I was young, the 3 pole per person was kind of the norm. So
Ohio and Michigan, I believe it's just 2 rods.
oh, really?
Yeah, that's rough.
Is that? I wonder, does that apply to bass fishing? I wonder.
Well, I think if it's bass fishing, of course, bass fishing, you're casting and bringing it back in. Well, of course, you need 2 hands to do that, and then.
Yeah, I'm guessing that only applies to poles in the water.
But if you're crappie fishing, see, there again, if we're talking about boats, I think it's different because I think when you're on a boat, it's like I believe people out there on Facebook tell me if I'm right or wrong, but you could use about 6 rods on a boat, but if you're off a bank, you have to go by Indiana guide. The land guidelines. If you see,
oh, okay, yeah. I noticed, people were trolling for crappie or whatever it may be, or they can, they got the whole.
They got about 6 to 8 rods on a boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it comes to bank fishing, especially here in Indiana, it's 3 rods. Ohio, I heard it's 2 rods. I can't really remember what Michigan is, but I like to say it's 2 rods. Now, when you was in Connecticut, what was you using, 3 rods?
I actually didn't fish Connecticut. Kelly did, but
okay.
It was 3 rods per person.
Huh. You there?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, I thought I lost you.
I think it may be like a space issue. You know what I mean? Like I can see them not wanting one person taking up a whole chunk of the bank compared to if they're on a boat, they can only take up so much space, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, Tyler says in Minnesota it's 2 rods. Again, Tyler's walleye, bass, perch, etc.
Oh, okay.
On the boat or not. Oh, on the boat or not. So he says on the boat and offshore. Like I say, I mean, you just got any state you got to go. You definitely have to look it up.
For sure. No,
DNR books, because they'll get you. They'll get you fast.
One thing you don't want is a ticket from DNR because they will stick it to you.
Man, I tell you, one time me and my cousin, we was fishing somewhere down, where is it? It's southern Indiana one time, and I think it was Brookville Lake. And we got there late at night, so we sat up, and this is towards, real fall time, kind of close to like the beach area where we was fishing at. And, I mean, pitch dark black. You couldn't even see in front, 10 feet in front of you. That's how dark it was.
Yeah.
But it was like a yard away, like a good football length away, where the vehicle was, and they grabbed other equipment. Then I started hearing little voices, in the ground, way from a distance. Well, my cousin was talking to somebody, and I still couldn't see him, but by the time I got back to the area where he was fishing at, he was talking to a DNR, my cousin Rex.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was like, man, where do you guys come from? They had stealth night vision goggles on and everything, like they're it was like a ninja just all of a sudden just came out everywhere. But they just they don't play around. They do not. But I mean, he was real friendly. Just want to know just exactly, because at the time that was like maybe 10 years ago, and this is when European stuff, or about 15 years ago, when European fishing just with the beepers and all that stuff just started, and DNR was just mainly curious how all this stuff.
Oh, for sure. And that's honestly.
That's what attracted me too, if that's what you can really say.
Yeah, I mean, even,
Ooh, pretty.
Even when I'm out, just even at a pay lake or especially when you're out, at a random lake and that stuff's not, people don't see that stuff a lot. A lot of them want to know what's going on, so that's, I love talking to new people about, showing them what this does or what that don't do or what to do in this situation. I love people coming up asking me questions, man. That stuff's fun.
Yeah, I mean, again, I had my European setup. We went to another pay lake in Ohio, and it was I think it was called the Horseshoe Pay Lake in Ohio, and of course it was all nothing but bobber fishing, because the whole top of the pond was just completely laid up with bobbers, and of course I had my European style there, fishing, and threw it in, and everybody just kept on surrounding me like I was I had some kind of alien craft.
Oh, for sure.
Fishing equipment. And they just ask questions. What's this? What's that? And I'm like, well,
that's what it does. That's some of the best times I've had at the lake.
Oh yeah.
Talking to somebody about the sport or whatever it may be, them just being curious.
Yeah. So.
It's definitely fun, man.
Oh, definitely. Okay, let's go. Get you another question going on here. What would you say is a favorite memory or special moment in carp fishing?
There's countless of times I've won money, big money, or whatever it may be, and obviously kept money, but just probably just fishing with my dad, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's just something I grew up doing.
Is that you and your dad still fish or something, or?
No, he passed a few years back.
No, sorry about that.
Oh, that's all good, brother. Life happens,
Yeah, it does. How old was he?
But he was 52, I think.
Oh, great.
He had health issues, so kind of.
That's how old I am. That's awesome.
Yeah, he just didn't take care of himself, so.
Yeah, it happens.
Kind of live and learn, I guess.
Yeah. So he's So he was all into the whole catfish bait and all that stuff, dough balls.
Well, yeah, he actually carp fished a lot when I was like really young. Obviously not old enough to fish, but I was still out there because shoot, my mom would always be on the lake with him too. But
nice.
Then, like I say, he kind of went into the catfishing scene, and that's kind of when I started doing my own thing. And then he got back into the carp fishing scene when I was, 12, 13 years old. And then that's when I started, I was all carp fishing.
I always say, for the longest time, family that fishes together stays together. But that's just me.
There's countless of people, man. I like being on the lake with, just having time. And yeah, we're all there competing and stuff like that. But if you're not there to have a good time, just stay at home. You know what I mean? Like we're there to have a good time and tell stories and
right.
Fish together. You know what I mean? These guys bring us drama and up to the pay lakes or just lakes in general, man. I mean, it's just you can just leave that stuff at home. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole purpose of fishing. Trying to get away, get your mind off things, and have a good time.
Yeah, 100%.
I have family that I have a couple cousins and really close friends that fish too. So it's kind of one of those things that go hand in hand. You're there to have a good time. So, but like I said, I do keep my circle kind of small as far as people I fish with or whatever it may be. But just keeps the drama down and
it does.
Stuff like that. So, and of course, obviously, with me doing YouTube and stuff like that, for every person that loves me, there's 4 that are jealous or hate me. So, there's always that too. So,
Brian Banks, this is a good guy. He said he loves the Patrick YouTube channel. He has helped me out so much. Respect for him. So.
Oh, and that's the thing, man. People don't understand how much. Like I said, I get hate or feedback, negative feedback from people and
haters.
Yeah, they're there, bro.
I know trolls. That's what I call them, trolls.
They're peeking through the bushes at you, but they're there. Like I said, but the people that appreciate it and they tell me that stuff, like that makes up for any amount of haters I could possibly have.
Right.
Just knowing I help one person or one person actually likes watching my videos, enjoys it, that makes up for any amount of haters I could possibly have at any given time.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
All right.
I don't haters I do for
when people say some bad things about me all the time, I'm like, okay, well, that's your opinion,
Oh man, yeah.
I move on. I'm not hating you or anything. Good luck with your life. I'll go on and do my own thing. You go on and do your own thing. I don't care what you think. I'll do what I want.
But the one thing I've always said is the haters are hating, but they always know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Always.
Yeah. They won't get.
You have a reason to be hating on me.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're always picking on you from the bushes, but
yeah.
It is what it is. Like I said,
but they will block you on Facebook or something.
That's all the time. They're there to talk some smack to you, but then next thing you know, they're still friends with you. So it is what it is, man. You gotta be growing about it and not let it get to you. But like I said, if I can help anybody out or anybody that enjoys it, that makes up for every hater I got. That doesn't. That's the best part.
Yeah. All right, let me get it there. Oh man, I think I just totally what did you say? Your memory is basically with your dad fishing and all that stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Was there a special moment or a good moment that you remember the most, or with your dad, or? I think I just cut you off. I don't mean to do that.
Nothing really specific.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's those times that that you have a flashback every now and then and brings you back to those times. But just knowing that every weekend I was coming home from school and going to spend all weekend on the lake.
That's the way to do it.
Oh yeah, that was the thing to do when I was growing up, man.
So you probably maybe answered this question, and I'm not quite sure. There's another one. Who do you look up to as a mentor or for advice on carp fishing?
I don't know if it'd be anybody's. Well, obviously, it goes back to my father, but as far as just in general, man, a lot of these guys I remember seeing on the lake when I was, 10, 12 years old, and they're still doing it. And I'll always look up to those guys as far as when you put that much time into a craft, man, you just naturally get good at it. You know what I mean? So when those guys are on the lake, you kind of, you want to go pick their brain a little bit, go talk to them, and like I said, I'm really good friends with a lot of them, even though they're older than I am. But I'll still sit down and have conversations with those guys any day of the week. And those are kind of the guys, like I said, when I was younger, man, they're taking my lunch money when I was 15 years old. You know what I mean? But I loved every second of it. They could beat me out of everything that, every time I fished, but I didn't care.
Right.
But those guys you look up to, and especially now that I've gotten older, man, a lot of those guys, some of them have passed or whatever it may be, but for the most part, definitely those older guys on the lake, man, you become really good friends with them, and they kind of, obviously being a guy, you're gonna be like, well, I look up to this guy, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of out of the norm, But at the same time, you're like, there's a few guys that you really, when they show up on the lake, you're like, I want to go talk to that person, or you kind of follow what they do. Just not to be a copycat or anything.
No,
but you just know those guys know what they're doing. You know what I mean? And there's a few down here in Georgia, man, that a lot of people look up to, and if they don't, they're just hating on them for no reason. So.
Yeah.
And it's just those small group of guys. Like I said, I fished against them when I was younger, and I still fish against them until this day. Even though I'm fishing against them, they're trying to take my money, I'm trying to take theirs, but. Yeah. I'll always respect those guys, and if they have anything to tell me, I'll always be open book. You know what I mean?
So I tell a lot of these people, a lot of these my hosts, my guests on the show all the time, and sometimes they want to say it, and sometimes they don't. I mean, and this is up to you. And of course, you carp tournament fish all the time. Give me about 5 guys. Would you say is your top 5 competitors? If you don't want to say that, fine. But if you do, that'd be awesome.
Well, as far as guys that when I could show up at any lake, in Georgia, North Carolina, wherever it may be at, and they happen to be there, I know I'm going to have to compete against those guys no matter what. Like as far as I know they're going to catch fish, I know they know what they're doing.
Right.
The first one that comes up to mind, like I said, I've been fishing against this guy for, years. Probably, like I said, the first time I stepped foot on Carp Lake. But we'll go with Keith Skinner for sure. He's not real big into Facebook or anything, so I don't think he even has a Facebook. I think he may have a Facebook. But we'll go with, for sure, Keith Skinner. We'll go with Jason Beasley, Jason Edwards.
Or Jason Beasley for
Andy Norman, of course Ricky Milam is Keith's pretty much been his partner for as long as I can remember, but
okay.
I don't know if I said Andy Norman or not, but definitely Andy Norman, Ricky Hudson, Donald Hudson, those guys are just some old school guys, man. Like I
heard of them.
When those guys step foot on the lake, man, you know you're going to have
game on. Game on.
So, there's definitely, and of course Keith Skinner and Jason Edwards, and they do a lot of the wildwater fishing up in New York and stuff. They go up there pretty heavy, so obviously, like I said, it comes to those guys doing that stuff for so long, man. You definitely kind of watch what they're doing and kind of soak that stuff in. So, yeah, and I'm sure I'm missing a few guys that's been around.
Oh yeah.
Just thinking about it, but whatever it may be, but. Like I said, those group of guys, man, they're good people. You know what I mean? They're good competitors. They taking my money, not taking theirs, and we both taking it on the chin. Either way it goes, and we do it again the next day.
So, Richo Martez, if I'm saying his name right too. Have you used pink corn on your hair rig?
Honestly, it goes back to being, a pay laker, and down here, we don't really use hair rigs in pay laking, but I'm definitely, you can call it a hook bait, I guess you want to say, obviously.
What size hook do you use?
Right now, I'm really hung up on the Carp Pro
Carp
number
Pro.
2. I'm really hung up on those. I really like those hooks.
Yeah.
They're a little bit. Obviously, if you go like a Eagle Claw number 2, a number 2 Eagle Claw is a pretty big hook, but
Yeah.
a number Carp Pros.
That's about normal for Pele rigs number 2.
Yeah, it goes on personal preference, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, obviously certain hook sizes you go down.
Yeah.
You get 4 or 6, and then they get pretty small, and a lot of those guys like those hooks. And obviously, if it's wintertime, I'm using a pretty small hook anyway, you know, because the fish they're not eating and thriving on the bait, they're just kind of picking at it. So something that's really small and light they can pick up. But
in Georgia, what's the weather like in Georgia, say like in wintertime? I mean, is it like?
It's pretty standard. You know, you got those
50s?
cold snaps where it gets down into the teens and single digits.
Okay.
That's probably like on an average, say Thursday in Georgia during the winter, you know, January, February, it's probably 40 degrees and wind's probably blowing.
Yeah. So but you still fish all year round and all that stuff, don't you?
Yeah, for the most part. Obviously, the fish get a little lethargic during the winter time, and they're not moving and feeding as much as they do during the winter. So it's kind of slow, but obviously that comes with the territory. You know, you kind of know that when you go to a lake. You're not expecting to catch 25, 30 fish. And, you know, it's 10 degrees outside, but for the most part, yeah, I fish. I fish a lot all during the year. Summertime, obviously, from now until, you know, late fall, you know, I'll be on the lake every weekend. If not, sometimes 2 or 3 times during the week also. But in the wintertime, I'm usually doing something else. I usually keep my time occupied. I shoot pool, I bowl on league, I play softball 2 or 3 nights a week.
You're active man.
I keep myself busy, but in the summertime, it's carp fishing time, and it's a go for me.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Mostly trying to carp fish, but.
Now, my hair, I do use hair rigs, especially in the wild, a lot.
But I have used the pink corn. To answer that question, I have.
That's what, for some odd reason, I feel like that attracts the carp, maybe a little bit more, pink. I did hear, you know, when it comes to artificial stuff, plastic cord, but if you're going into deep, deep, deep waters, I hear a green artificial corn brings the color out more.
For sure. I definitely know. You know, certain colors definitely do work better. Like you said, it may be water or shallow water, or it may be different from lake to lake. But I've definitely had a few, because you kind of notice those things when you have a flavor that we'll say it's Concord grade. You know, you make some pickups out of that, they're black, they work okay, but then you make some out of, you know, red grape's a little bit different flavor, but it's a lot more brighter color. It's still great, but it may work better. Or, like I said, you can make, most of these flavor companies now, they can make you anything in any color you want anyway, so, like if you have something, say you like grape, but you don't want it to be black. You know, they can make that for you, and like pink or clear.
I know, right?
If you like a different color, you know, like I said, because some of these lakes and stuff you go to, I feel like some of it's the color of the pickup that has a lot to do with, instead of the flavor. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these plastics, you know, like the fake corn and stuff like that, unless you're kind of spraying them or injecting them or something like that, they're kind of bland, you know, so I feel like they're kind of going off of that color more than, you know, as far as the flavor, but.
I know, well, train of thought, there you go, there's a blind moment. I had a good question for you. Dang, that's what Alzheimer's do to you. No. Well, I did have a good question for you, and I wish like a deer in the headlight right now. Man, what is that?
Come back to the fake corn thing, though.
Yeah.
I definitely do like the brighter colors. Like I said, in certain situations, it definitely does different. But I have I have bought plenty of those the fake corn as far as because sometimes like take wintertime for instance, it's slower, it's slow biting, it's gonna be slow, so you put these pops on there and they've been out there for 2 hours, most of the time those things are done disintegrated and gone,
Right.
So if something's been in the water for 2 hours, it's probably gone. But that's where you kind of fall back on, using these fake hook baits as far as like a fake corn or a bead or whatever it may be. But I definitely like using them. I don't always use them, but I've definitely used them. I can't say I haven't.
So, the way I'm going to get out of your conversation a lot of times too, it sounds like to me just in Georgia you go to maybe you got 2 pay ponds there?
There's 2 that are the main ones as far as like tournament. Yeah. Obviously there's a few more that are kind of not as popular or a lot of people don't prefer those lakes over the 2 main ones we fish at, but it's 2 Reds and Lakeview is pretty much it, man. Like I said, I love both of those lakes. I've done really good at both of them, but it just depends on what kind of taste people want as far as like Reds has a huge crowd every weekend. Some people don't really like a huge crowd, so they go to Lakeview, which, don't get me wrong, there's some weekends they can have 65 people there too, but
now my question was with do you use this the same flavors for both of those lakes that you? I mean, it's like when you go to that one pay pond, everybody knows, oh, that's a grape flavor pond. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Now, is that are both those ponds the same way to that one flavor? And then when you go to the wild, what would your flavor be, or do you even use flavor?
Well, my 2 go-to flavors, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people is the same.
Right.
But grape and pale lake is one of the predominant.
It is. It is
kind of a top flavor. So obviously, grape rice usually works really good in some places, but obviously I have a few different things I do to it and different ways I make it that make it stand out than your average bucket of rice. But for the most part, I kind of try to stay to those few basic flavors as far as like my main bait. Obviously, I'll make some pickups, or a lot of people dip a lot down here, so just pour you a little bit of corn syrup, about 2 ounces of corn syrup in a cup, and some flavor, and mix it up, and you kind of still have like say you're throwing grape rice, you're still throwing your grape rice, but they may like a little bit of strawberry with it, or they may like a little bit of banana with it, or something like that. So you kind of But for the most part, I have those few flavors that I stay to. And as far as Wildwater, 90% of the time on Wildwater, I'll make something strawberry.
Strawberry.
That's kind of.
It's I mean, of course, there's oh my God, what's his name? Luke from Cat and Carp YouTube videos. His favorite thing is strawberry and panko.
Oh yeah, I've been watching him for a long time too. That guy, he put some time and money into videos, man. He definitely.
He's got a couple other channels too.
Yeah, he's
Outdoor Boys.
I've never talked to him or anything, but I'm sure he has no clue who I am. But
we're just peons to him, man.
Yeah,
he likes that. Who's that? Who's Team Fishers? Who's Patrick? Who? What?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And even like I said, there's obviously way bigger carp channels than mine.
Right.
But all those guys, they do Wildwater. I think, as far as I know, as far as pay laking, a lot of people watch me, but obviously I don't really do it for the fame or the clout. Right. Like I said, the people that, when a little kid comes up to you at a pay lake and says he watches you and he enjoys watching you and stuff like that, that stuff makes up.
Oh, yeah, don't it?
Makes up any of the haters, man, for sure, like I said.
I had a couple of kids like that. It was really cool. It really does.
It really makes you feel good, man.
It does. It really does. And that's why it keeps me going. It is.
Yeah. You kind of hope you
Yeah.
made an impact on that kid's life somehow. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I mean, we had a bait shop down here, Westside Bait and Tackle. I love that place. That's I'm really sorry to see it close. You know, Jim Dolan, that he ran that place.
Yeah, and I know. I always noticed that place was always a go-to for you guys.
Man.
You being down here, I hate to see it close because I know that was like a hub for carp fishing.
Oh, it was. It was. It was a second home. I was like, when I left my house and I went there and I was like, there's my other home. This is and just the way the whole atmosphere was. It's great.
Oh, sure, man, for sure.
And
you just from, like I said, I know you've had a few videos in there, and then just seeing it on Facebook or whatever it may be, like you can just tell, like I said, it comes back to that camaraderie thing, man. That's just one of those places, you know.
You know, we have a carp chili meet, you know, once a year here. You should come by and check it out one time.
You know, I've definitely thought about it, man. I've noticed y'all have done it every year. That, you know, I've kind of really been heavy into the social media part of things, and you know, Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that. And I've noticed, like I said, obviously we're on opposite sides of. You know,
I mean, I'll get a booth all set up. You know, if you want to sign autographs and all that stuff, we'll get the red carpet out for you.
I would love just to go. I wouldn't care. I'm a human being, which I am, obviously, but I wouldn't care if anybody in there even said anything about you.
Oh, yeah.
Went up there and hanging out with guys that love to do what I love to do, man. It's a special feeling, you know.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'd love to do it, man, and I'm definitely going to try it. I'm definitely going to try to make it up that way eventually, man. I know it's a lot of fun. I see those videos and stuff y'all post, and it looks amazing, man.
Here's another question for you, man. What is one of your favorite dream lakes that you would like to fish at?
Oh, Del Hollow.
Yeah.
That's Del Hollow is the spot. That's that once I fish that lake, man, and
we
with some of the birdies in the bank.
There's people from overseas actually leaves their country just to try to go to Del Hollow.
Oh man, I don't blame them, man. Like I said, and there's not a whole lot of videos as far as you know on that lake, man. That lake, that's definitely the bucket list lake to get to as far as carp fishing, man. I'm going to go there. I just don't know when, but
you know, it'd be kind of cool. You hook up one time and do a video together.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And just talk, you know, our team fish fires and Patrick, you know, just you know, get together, talk, and you know, drink a couple beers.
It's monsters, man.
Yeah. And just the excitement on our faces to bring those bad boys in, like damn.
Man, I just can't imagine.
Just listen to that real scream.
Yeah.
That's sometimes we just let the real scream just for the fun of it, because it just excites us. Like, dang, let's check out that baby. It's just going. Oh, do you? So you got a lot of buffs down there?
Since the new owners, Jason and Jenna, have taken over Reds, they've kind of, like I said, they're kind of going that North Carolina route.
Okay.
As far as like the style of fishing.
Right.
So they've definitely been pumping some buffs in there, man. And that lake, Reds is the hub. That's the spot for buffs if you want to fish for buffs, man. That's the. I don't always target them because, you know, I mean I catch my fair share of yellows, obviously. You know, some of these guys I got them dialed in. You know, they're hard to beat.
Yeah.
Some of these fish, but for the most part, the buffs are getting down here slowly. And I'm not sure if Lakeview has any, you know, future plans of putting a lot of buffs in their lake. I mean, there's a few in there that get caught every now and then, but Reds has definitely been stocking them, and it's definitely been a game changer down here for sure.
So, got a question from Brian Banks. When is Patrick going to do a video with Danny S4E? I'm still waiting on his video. You know what you think about that?
Yeah, Danny's a pretty cool cat, man.
Is he? Okay.
he's new. He's kind of new into the YouTube thing, and I mean not new. He's been doing it for a little while now, but he.
Wait a minute. Oh.
He's been doing.
Is he the one, the Wildwater guy? Is that him? Does he do YouTube videos?
He does. A lot of his videos are at Reds here in Georgia, but
yeah.
Like I said, he's not new to the YouTube scene. I mean, he's definitely talked to me a lot about YouTube, and I'm cool with that, obviously. But,
okay, cool.
Me and him, we've just never really linked up as far as both being on the lake at the same time or whatever it may be. But I'm sure it's coming in the near future. I mean, I wouldn't mind making a video with a guy. Like I said, he's a cool guy. I mean, even though, like I said, he's a YouTuber, I'm a YouTuber, whatever it may be. I don't care about any of that.
Right.
Let's make it for the people who like to watch it.
Exactly.
But it's for sure coming. I'm guessing it's coming in the near future. I mean, like I said, if that's something he wants to do, that's all on him. And if he doesn't want to, that's fine too. But if he wants to make a video together or whatever it may be, or film at the same tournament or whatever it is, that's perfectly fine with me.
Well, there you go, Brian. It's in the works. Okay. What would you say? Okay. What would you say that would attract the carp in the pack bait, or the flavor, or your pickup? I mean, do you use pack? I mean, I guess pack bait does. I would say, when I say pack bait, I guess it could be chow, it could be rice, it could be oats. Do you do a lot of oats?
It depends. It depends on the lake. It depends on if they're pulling oats good, which I love making oats, man. It's a really cheap bait to make. You can make a ton of it at one time. Yeah. You can pump it and not feel it hurt your wallet so much, chow or something like that. So, but if I'm going Wildwater or a big lake or something like that I'm not sure what they're going to pull, I'll definitely have some oats. I mean, but it being like a particle bait, I guess you could say, you kind of put it in that category.
Yeah.
If I like to make old fashioned and cut oats at the same time, because the old fashioned is kind of a lot bigger, and then the quick oats are they're a lot smaller, like redefined, or like they've been milled already, I guess. But yeah, I would say, well, it obviously varies. I feel like in Wildwater, you're throwing something that these fish are not a whole lot used to seeing, so they're kind of curious, and they're bottom feeders, so something on the bottom of the lake, and they're kind of attracted to it. It's kind of, I feel like you can kind of get away without packing a lot of flavor in it or anything like that. You can kind of get away with just having something that attracts them to it, as far as like the particles, which it may be oats, millet, chow, whatever it may be.
Do you use bread? Do you use some bread in some of your stuff, or like panko?
I do.
Yeah.
I use bread when I make my soybean.
Okay.
It really helps. And some people like using quick grits in their soybean. It helps them make a pack a little better. But I like using bread. So, but obviously it's just personal preference. But back to the obviously if you're fishing Wildwater, like I said, it doesn't take as much flavor or
not really,
or whatever it may be to draw the fish in, because they're not being fished for 24/7. You know what I mean? So, but when you're going to a pay lake and you're competing against these guys, and don't get me wrong, a lot of guys do with your spot. Obviously, if you've ever fished pay lake, some spots are harder than others depending on the time of the year or just the lake in general. But I definitely feel like when you're on the bank with 25 different guys and you're all competing, you kind of have to do something to set yourself apart, whether it may be a flavor, a spray, a dip, a pickup, whatever you can do to kind of draw those fish to you instead of them. You kind of got to go that route. But if you're going wildwater fishing, man, I don't think it takes a lot of flavor at all to draw the fish. Not really.
Hey, people out there on Facebook, if you guys got any questions that you want to ask Patrick, or if you guys got a shout out to anybody, one of your loved ones or your team, or even your flavor company, I'm just basically all about promoting carp fishing. So.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
That's what so many people got to get through their head.
Yeah, exactly.
It's obviously, if you have a business, you want your business to thrive, or obviously, you're I guess you could say competing against other businesses or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, man, you just gotta be cool with everybody. You know what I mean? You gotta promote the sport of carp fishing before you put money first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's not about a war. It's just about getting together and having fun.
Oh, for sure, man. Like I said, I've said it 1,000 times. If you show up at the pay lake I'm at, and you're there to cause problems and make people's days worse, just stay at home. You know what I mean? We're not trying to deal with that.
Yeah.
Get there the time and catch some pigs. You know what I mean?
Yep. James Moore, he says, when are you going back to Ward's, Patrick? That's the best pond around.
Oh man, I can't tell you how much I like Ward's, man. I love that lake. Absolutely love that. As far as you going there and knowing you're going to catch fish, that's the when I go to Ward's, I already know I'm filming. I know I'm filming almost all night because I know I'm going to catch.
You know it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
That lake is something special, man. And obviously talking to Tracy and Jeff Ward up there, man, they kind of got blessed with that lake being where it's at, because that lake can go. They can push. I think he said 500,000, 1 million gallons of water a day of fresh water through that lake.
Wow, there you go.
That really helps that lake, man. That's some things. A lot of these pond bosses, they try to compete with Ward's or want to know what Ward's does to make it so special.
Right.
But understand is them being on the side of that mountain and having that fresh mountain water flowing through that lake 24/7.
Yeah, there you go.
They just thrive in that water, man. I don't know what it is.
It's not fresh. It's all fresh. It's a filtering system. You think about it.
Yeah. The bottom doesn't get stagnant from all the old bait and stuff like that. And man, it's just a different animal. I tell you right now, if people really like pay lake fishing and they haven't been to Ward's yet, it's their own fault if they don't go, because that's one lake. If it should be a bucket list lake for any carp fisherman that likes to pay lake fish, for sure, man. That lake is something special. It really is.
So I guess
10 times this year, I have my choice.
So all right. So I guess that was one of my questions. Maybe you just answered it just now. What is one of your favorite swims, which is lakes, whatever, you would like to go fish on? Have you ever tried to Clear Creek?
Which one is it? Is it
Clear,
Pay Lake?
Yeah, Clear Creek. I think Joe Letts. No?
Oh, Creekside.
Creek, sorry. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I love Creekside.
Yeah. I've never been there. I just heard a lot of good things about it, too.
Yeah, my PB actually comes from that lake, man. Joe really runs a nice outfit out there, dude. He has his ducks in a row, man. That lake is one of the nicest lakes you'll ever go to.
Matter of fact, we had him on our podcast last year, and he also came up here to the chili meat.
Yeah, I seen that. He came up there.
That was pretty sweet, talking to him and all that stuff. He's a good guy.
Yeah, that guy, he's big into the carp fishing scene, man. He's definitely a guy to have on your side as far as the knowledge and the way he has his hand and everything carp fishing. That guy.
Yeah, he's one of them mates, R&W, runs a Creekside, lake.
Creekside's a amazing lake, for sure.
Yeah, definitely a
I've
busy
been
guy.
over there as much as I do Ward's this year.
Yeah.
The lake's always clean. It's always good people. It's always fair to the fishermen. There ain't no shoddy stuff going on. It's a nice place to be, man. That's definitely one of my top 5 lakes I like to fish at, for sure.
Yeah. Where's the one? Okay. Which pickup would you go to start playing? Hold on, I got this one question for you. Centro, which pickup would you go with to start, plain or flavored pale lake?
Always plain, man. Always
Plain?
plain. I've never, unless I've done it previous and I know that they might pull a specific flavor pickup, 99% of the time when my hooks start of the tournament is plain pickups.
Plain
So, I mean,
pickups.
that's just how I've always growed up doing it, man. I've always caught a lot of fish on that stuff. Don't get me wrong, I definitely dabble in the flavored pickup,
Right.
Side the pale lake thing, but for the most part, 90% of the time, it's plain tops for me.
So that's what I was getting ready to say, but are you a kicks person or a puffs?
Yeah, well, if I'm buff fishing, I kind of like the puff because it's more buoyant.
Right.
It gets off the bottom a little better, and I feel like a lot of the times in buff we're not down in your bait, being very aggressive
Right.
like yellows are. Yellow will get in your bait and get aggressive, just suck everything up. But a buff is kind of a little picky, man. So when it's a lot easier for them to get to that puff compared to a kick that's not as buoyant,
Right.
Or I kind of prefer puffs if I'm fishing for buffs. But 99% of the time, man, even if I know there's a lot of buffs in that lake, unless I'm targeting buffs,
Yeah.
it's a plain top for me, man. Really.
Sweet. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see with the pack. Says, okay, do you flavor in your bait? And if so, what is your go-to flavor? Grape?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I love grape, man. God, I love grape.
See,
Don't get me wrong. I mix a lot of stuff with it too. As far as whatever I kind of like. If I know a lake also likes red chocolate, I'll throw red chocolate and grape mixed together or whatever it may be. But for the most part, during the summer, man, I'm probably throwing some kind of rendition of grape rice for sure. Like I said, I have different ways of making it, and I don't use the same exact ingredients as everybody else does. I use certain little different things that I've noticed has worked a lot better over the years than your normal like table salt or sugar or whatever it may be. So I kind of have my own little recipe when it comes to that. But
nice.
for the most part, it's grape is my go-to, man, for sure.
Danny Roberts says, what's the best lake to fish in Georgia?
Reds, man, Reds for
Reds?
sure.
Yeah, that's what Stephen, hold on, see if I'm saying that name right. Stephen Foy say. Reds.
Yep. Reds. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I love Lakeview. Troy, the pond boss there, man. He's a really stand-up guy. I mean, he's a great guy, man. It's just Reds is kind of doing the new school thing. You know what I mean? They're kind of following. Like I said it before. I hate to be like saying the same thing over and over again, but they're kind of following in the footsteps of the North Carolina style of fishing. So a lot of these newer guys, and shoot, a lot of the older guys too, man, they kind of like the direction that Reds is going. And he's Jason and Jenna, man. They're some good people. They're the owner of Reds. They've pumped a lot of money in that lake, man. But I'm grateful for it. I know a lot of these other guys are too, man. But we kind of feel that because we know the amount of money they put in there has definitely benefited us, man, because that lake is something special. It really is. But like I said, don't get me wrong, Lakeview, I love Lakeview, man. Like I said, my buddy Mark, the guy I fish with 90% of the time, man, he lives in Lakeview's backyard pretty much. So I'm going to fish there tomorrow night, matter of fact. But
well, there you go. So how often do you go to fishing? I mean, do you do that like almost every single day, just the weekend, or what?
Well,
5 times out a week?
I fish for sure just about every Friday night during summer.
Okay.
If it's Friday night, I'm probably on the Carp Lake 99% of the time.
Right.
And depends on if I have anything going on Saturday as far as like softball or anything like that. But Most of the time it's Friday, Saturday night, man, and that's mainly my main 2 days because I'm not a huge fan of the little 5-hour tournaments we do here during the week.
Right.
I mean, I'll fish them, and the only reason I'm not is because I live an hour away from both of those lakes.
Yeah,
so
you want something worth your time.
It's kind of hard for me to justify driving 2 hours, round trip to fish 5 hours. So I mean, but other than that, man, if I live right there, man, I'd be there every day. But well, during the summer, I play softball 3-4 nights a week too. So
Okay.
and I bowl in a league too, so I can't really do a whole lot during the weekdays. But Friday and Saturday night, man, I'm on the Carp Lake, no doubt.
Ooh, sneeze. So, so do you guys got a lot of bait shops down there? Just regular bait shops?
As far as like, no, not really. Really, just the stores at the lake. Really,
Stores at the lake.
They keep them pretty well stocked up on anything we need. So.
Okay.
Usually, if we need anything else, I'm a really big fan of Calyx Outdoors in South Carolina, man. It's only about 2 hours from me, and I catch myself going up there a lot. That place is nice. That's really the only bait shop as far as, because like I said, carp fishing down here, man, isn't huge, so it's kind of tough for anybody to open up a bait shop, because I don't know how much money they'd be making as far as.
So, would your the Pay Lakes, do they got pretty good bait shops inside their place?
Oh yeah, for sure. Red just stocked to the rim with anything you need, man.
Yep.
Lakeview is about the same way. They have any kind of flavoring or whatever bait you want to make, or anything. They make sure when you show up, you don't really have to want anything.
How about pack baits? I mean, does he have like made pack baits, chow and all that kind of stuff? Pack.
They have for the most part, they have everything on the shelf as far as like what's in season. As far as
Okay, I see what you're saying.
They got rice for sale, and they got any kind of millet. A lot of them don't make pre-made millet, but they got millet kits. Obviously we rent flour already ready to go, whatever it is. But for the most part, yeah. And the pre-made side of that, as far as the lakes making the bait, that's obviously a huge topic down here. It's been a topic of a lot of arguments down here about people just showing up and buying something off the shelf and competing. But there's definitely plenty of pre-made like rices, especially during the summertime. Man, pre-made rice down here is big. But I make my own. But
yeah,
it's definitely on the shelves to buy. I mean, a lot of people do good on it, man. And sometimes it's tough when you're sitting there and you're kind of striking out, and somebody bought a bag of bait off the shelf and kicking your butt. But at the same time, there's plenty of nights where I'm sitting there absolutely stroking them, man, and they're buying bag after bag and not catching anything. So,
okay, I got another question for you. This one here is from sorry if I'm saying their name wrong. Centrell Delmer. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong.
Drake, that's my buddy Drake.
Is it Drake? All right.
Yeah.
He says, fishing a double hook, do you prefer one dough ball or two? Fishing a double hook, do you prefer? Explain that a little bit to me.
If I'm obviously down here, double hooks is permitted everywhere. You can throw double hooks.
See, I didn't know that. Oh, here's just one.
Yeah, Pay Lakes down here, double hooks are permitted anywhere, so you can no double hooks. So.
That's interesting. So is it single hook or treble hooks too down there?
Just no treble hooks.
Yeah,
you can
okay.
Be single hook.
Well, that's good.
Obviously,
I mean, that's what sure.
You can run a double leader if you want. The triple leader.
Yeah.
Or the triple swivel, or you can just run them both on the same swivel, whatever you want to do it. But if I'm like right now wintertime fishing, it comes back to the pops and stuff. Being in the water for X amount of hours, or in the wintertime, they're probably going to be out there for 45 minutes or longer before you get a pull. So I'm putting both my hooks in the bait.
Okay.
If it's summertime and I know those fish are feeding, I know probably the bite's going to be pretty fast.
Yeah.
I like a flag hook is what I call it, because it's kind of, I put one hook in the bait and I got my flag hook, which the pickup on the outside of the bait.
Okay.
I feel like it's not going to dissolve in time before fish pulls, because most of the time, like I said, in summertime, the fish are feeding, or they're not so lethargic as they are during the wintertime. So, but definitely, most of the time in the wintertime, it's both hooks and one doe ball. And summertime, a lot of times it's one hook in the bait and one flat hook. So.
Nice. So, hey, anybody got any more questions or anything? Just let us know. Do you have questions or that's something off the top of your head, Patrick, you'd like to talk about more? I mean, what you would like to see in the future, or with like
really
Palex, or
and fish with a lot of people that are not from Georgia, man. I know I got a lot of, I hate to call them fans or whatever, but a lot of friends, I would call it, to say that I'd really like to go fish with, man. Like I said, up on your end, and you know, West Virginia, wherever they may be at, but I definitely want to get up north, further than North Carolina, some man, just to fish with some of those guys, just to go see.
I like to see you hit Del Hollow. I like this. You're not with you. I want to see your experience there. See what see what you think about all that stuff.
Like I said, that's the bucket list lake right there, man, for sure.
Bucket list lake.
Once I fish that lake, I'll feel like my carp journey is not complete, but
Gotcha.
Definitely a huge one checked off the bucket list for sure.
So, well, man, I think probably been like talking almost about a good 2 hours now, man. So I'm about out of questions, man. This really was a great interview with you. I enjoyed it a lot. Learned a lot off of you, actually. Just play your techniques and ours. It's really good. And keep up with those YouTube videos, man. Keep up. I like watching. I just like to watch what you do with the whole carp fishing thing. So.
Oh yeah, man. It's summertime's right around the corner, so I'm definitely planning on posting as much as I can.
Nice.
So keep an eye out for all those. Anybody who's watching, or I know a lot of these guys are excited to watch. Man, some of these guys can't always get on the lake, man, and they kind of like watching the videos to kind of get that feeling of being at the lake. So.
People out there in Facebook land, if you guys got an idea that if you like this show, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Also, if you'd like to name off some names that you guys like to see on our show too. Hopefully I could have Patrick again on our show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'd love to have him again. But hey, Patrick, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for your time. Hopefully, tight lines, and I'll see you on the back board, buddy.
Oh, absolutely, brother, man. It was great talking to you. So. I'm always here, man.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I definitely want to get with you on bottom feeder baits and just see what you think. If you try out some products, and if you wouldn't mind doing a little video on it.
Oh, for sure, brother. Like I said, I'm definitely always down to scratch anybody's back.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out right quick.
Yeah, go. Yeah, definitely, 100%. Go.
Obviously, you for having me on the show, man. I've followed Team Fish Fighters for a while now.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Obviously, this year new to me is the Royal Way Carp Juice, man. I'm excited to see what they have to offer here in the near future, man. And,
yeah, I'm excited to hear about them too.
Fish on Beefers, man. I appreciate both of them for giving me a chance to support them as much as they support me. So, obviously, shout out to my partners, man. Mark, Kelly, and Chris. They, like I said, I keep my group small, man. I'm not lean when I'm having a tough time. So.
Nice. But all right, man. Well, thanks again, Patrick, for your time, buddy.
Absolutely. Anytime, man.
All right, our next guest on the show will be next week, next Thursday at 6:30. Will be Derek Williams. He's from West Virginia. He's got some great stories to tell us about his carp adventures and how he catches and the tips and tricks and all that other stuff. Always support your local bait shops, especially if they got carp fishing stuff inside of it. Again, people out there on Facebook land, if you guys got a person that you think that you would like to see on our show, just let us know. We'll be happy to have them, and we'll talk within the team and maybe talk to them. That you'd like to know some more about carp fishing. Always practice good carp care, landing mats, It's just to protect the fish, especially with you pay lickers out there. Protect your pay bosses, lake bosses investment. For your online needs, Big Carp and Tackle. David Moore and his gang's got some great products there. Check them out online for your carp needs. And always, thank you for subscribing to our channel. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. It helps out Team Fish Fighters and especially to get the videos, content that you would like for us to give to you guys. Always give us an idea as to who you'd like to be on our next show. I love doing this. I'm just all about promoting carp fishing. So again, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, and appreciate you guys. Watch our show. Tight lines. Thanks for watching. Bye.